Most people think influence starts with persuasion, but in reality, it often starts much earlier with confusion. And Janice from Mean Girls understands exactly how to use that. In this video, we'll explore her strategy of influence and how it can be applied to your business. Hello, I'm Mila Halosha. Welcome. Here we make films work for your success. And today we're talking about Janis Ian. Often the strongest connections are not formed through closeness, but through confusion. When you enter a new environment, a school, a team, a job, you don't understand the structure yet. Everything feels unassigned, unlabeled, unclear. And in that space, something subtle happens. The person who helps you interpret what you're seeing doesn't just become helpful, they become necessary because they're no longer just part of the environment. They become the lens through which the environment is understood. And once that happens, trust stops being a choice. It becomes dependence of interpretation. In Mean Girls, this dynamic is already in motion long before anyone realizes it. Janice doesn't simply guide Katie, she defines the initial structure of meaning: who matters, who doesn't, what each interaction really means.
How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
And Katie, still without her own reference system, absorbs it, not because she agrees, but because she has no alternative framework yet.
Okay, you have to do it, okay? And then you have to tell me all of the horrible things that Regina says.
And this is where influence begins, not through persuasion, not through authority, but through early interpretation in an undefined system. Because the first person who gives meaning to confusion doesn't just help you understand the environment, they shape the environment you believe you are in. And once that layer is formed, everything that follows is filtered through it. Even contradiction doesn't immediately break it, it is interpreted through it. This is why early guidance carries disproportionate weight, not because it is correct, but because it arrives first. And this pattern doesn't belong only to school, it can also be applied to business. Whoever helps people decode uncertainty doesn't just support them, they quietly participate in shaping perception itself. And in that sense, influence doesn't begin with persuasion. It begins at the moment meaning is first assigned. If you become the person who helps others understand something new, you don't need to compete for attention. You become the reference point. Let's look at some examples. If you own a grocery store, you can simply sell ingredients like any other store. Or you can use the Janus logic of influence and help people understand what those ingredients can become. Create signature dishes, recipe books, ingredient combinations designed around specific meals and experiences. Because the moment you help people interpret possibility, you become more than a store. If you sell cosmetics, you're not just presenting products, you're guiding people through transformation. Show how makeup works for different lifestyles, situations, and identities. Create masterclasses where makeup artists demonstrate looks people didn't know how to achieve, because guidance builds trust faster than promotion ever can. If you sell clothing, you're not just showing pieces individually, you're helping people understand how identity is constructed through style. Create content around trends and how to adapt them in real life. Offer styling support that helps people build looks around different lifestyles, preferences, and situations. Because people rarely remember the product first, they remember the brand that helped them understand how to use it. Guide first, influence follows naturally. Helping others navigate something unfamiliar builds a kind of trust that doesn't need persuasion. Every system teaches people how to see it. The question is, who gets to shape that vision first? I'll see you in the next video.